blanket of treating everybody with radiation doses and chemotherapy. I think that blanket kind of treatment is gone now, and each individual should get a test of their own person, And,
well, I understand chemo is not as bad as it used to be, and I think that a combination of chemo and the selenium would be probably very effective.
Well, they've come up with some antibiotic kind of drugs, I think, to counteract the effects of what's going on there, and it kind of works in conjunction with the chemotherapy. But I could have my facts wrong too, so. But that's my understanding of it. So hopefully that's working for folks. But you can survive it, folks. I'm sitting here living proof. Maybe not as whole as I used to be, but I'm hanging on. So. And, my main reason I wanted to stop by
you seem to be a little bit better off today than I've seen you in past days. Is not true?
It's a breathing thing today.
You've got a good color to you, though.
Yeah, I don't look as dead as I normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually was going to stop by and thank you. I beeped you a message on your phone yesterday about playing the album.
I assume since you sent it that meant that I could play it.
Oh, you can play anytime you want.
So I put it into rotation.
You can use it for a target on the door over there.
I didn't get it on today because we were a little late running a little behind today, and I didn't get it in the machine.
My Uncle Sonny, John R. Drake, he helped me on that album down there. We produced it at the house, and that's my first attempt at trying to mix stuff.
Well, now who all plays on that?
Just me and my uncle.
Okay.
And he's got like an XP30 and a 60. He's got all these keyboard instruments that he does. He was big time in the Grove Park and back in the 50s. He played in some of those bands there. Bob Gill Orchestra.
Because y'all sound like a jam band, kind of,
Yeah, well, the songs, I wrote the songs. We was just trying to pollute them with every kind of musical instrument we had available. And I think there's like 21 different instruments over 11 songs there that we incorporated, ice crystals, everything. And my mother says, it's good, but it's just real busy. And I know we overloaded it, but you don't get a chance to work with your uncle that much on the project. And I really appreciated that and had a good time doing it.
Yeah, it came out sounding good, though, didn't it?
2 or 3 of them do now. The vocals, it seems that in the transfer to the very first song on there, it was dragging or something, because the vocals shouldn't sound as draggy as it does in that Be Good to Yourself song. But actually live, it don't sound that kind.
What did you record them on? What format?
He had something evidently Leonard Skinner used similar to. It was an Akai MG 2020 square tape recording board, 16-channel monster.
Akai.
Yeah, MG 2020, I think is what it was. But it was an analog system.
Was it 1-inch tape or half-inch tape or?
It's at least half to 1-inch tape, and it kind of looked like the old VCR tapes. They're just about this big.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh yeah, it's a mixing board with a little tape cartridge that goes in up the top, about the size of a beta tape that flips in there.
Right.
I used to have one of those. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It worked real well, and he bought it.
Was it like white surface or light beige with
brown?
Okay,
it had that wood grain look to it.
Okay,
kind of darker.
All right.
It blended in real good there.
But it has I think a 12-channel mixer right here. I thought it was 12.
I think this is 16.
And then up on the right-hand side, there's a place where it pops up and the cartridge goes in.
Yeah, it pops up like that and then goes back down in there.
It looks like a VCR tape goes in it. Yeah, I used to have one of those.
Yeah, it works real well. And of course, some of my friends now, they've got different, some of the more high-tech, up-to-date boards, for their recording and things. They're not using DAT or anything anymore. I've got stuff at the house that I would like to get actually transferred. And that was a question I had. What kind of technical transference y'all got around here? Once I get up with the swing of stuff, but can you take things off from a VCR and put them onto a DVD?
Yeah,
we do that.
We have a machine. We have a machine in the. We have a thing called a dubbing cart, and it'll play a VHS tape and make a DVD, or it'll play a DVD and make a DV tape, or it'll play a DV tape and make a VHS tape or what, you know.
Well, I had some of my old recordings of me doing some stage songs and things and such, and I was wanting to think.
Well, what are they on?
They're on VCR right now.
Okay, VHS tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can make DVDs of them. Mm-hmm. But they'll want you. You can use that, but then they'll want you to make a program out of it. So you can make a program of some of your old performances.
Well, that's actually what I was sitting at the house thinking about when I first saw your show.
Are you a member?
Yeah.
Okay.
I joined up. Yeah.
Have you produced a show yet? You hadn't, have you?
No.
Well, there you go. You got your first show in the can. You just got to edit it, don't you?
Well, I was actually wanting to give a soil and water report too, since
soil and water.
Yeah, report.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. And,
I thought maybe you had one now.
But everything's fine with the soil and waters. I know of today that.
Well, what's the water level like? What's the water table like? Still down a little bit?
We're not up on that right there, but the water table is still, it's down for sure, And Mother Nature dealt us a heavy blow last year on the lack of rain, and then turned around and smacked us in the face again with the lack of winter time. We've kind of really hurting. And
we've had a little water come down of late though.
Right.
It's getting a little better.
Well, that lake, my uncle lives at Tallahassee, Florida, and he's of a mind that there's a cavern running below the Appalachian chain, and all that water goes down through there, and it feeds into that lake. Well, that lake's just bottomed out, gone. The spring's dried up.
I believe he might be right.
And,
you know what I mean? Specifically, I don't know, but things like that make a lot of sense. You know that.
It's So, we've got to learn to deal with those kinds of things, too, as they happen in nature. There's good reasons, things that we can do, actually, that benefit us during times of drought like that, but folks don't seem to move on it as they should, like cleaning up these streams. Man, when it's just a trickle down through there, that's the time to be cleaning them up and getting the stuff out of there. That way it don't keep on going down the stream, and piling up and causing jam.
That's a great idea, isn't it?
They should be utilizing everything this whole there shouldn't be a dirty stream in the area now.
That's right.
For the drought that we've had, the riverbanks, and I know there's quite a few groups that working to clean all that up, and it's really actually looking beautiful around town now. I've got to give them credit on it. It's beautiful. And, the waterways, I think that's something that we haven't utilized in Asheville that could actually be a good source of revenue, in the future. Put some, I've often wondered why they don't let somebody come down there with like a old paddle wagon or something, open up a restaurant, kind of float around on the French Broad there a little bit,
Well, out toward Clyde, and what's that? What's the place there where the paper factory is?
Canton there.
Canton, Canton, and up through Clyde, there's a river run through there that is almost flat, almost no fall to it at all. It's fairly deep, and it runs really slow and flat through there. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is that is that the Pigeon River?
Maybe, I don't know, but it would be great for canoeing for tourists that aren't here for whitewater, that are just for a really casual, just a pretty canoeing trip and stuff like that.
For some reason, folks is I don't know, it's like a taboo to get around the waterway and do anything. When in actuality, that's a great source of revenue that the city is not utilizing or letting folks utilize. It is after the year 2000, and we're capable of keeping things clean and operating things in a smooth fashion. And I think that's just another area of commerce that comes to the Asheville area, and where you're talking about at Canton there.
There's been a lot more, attention brought to it, a lot more consciousness of the streams and all now in this area than there used to be in this area. A lot of the consciousness in years past, and I mean many years past, was a complete lack of concern about what was getting dumped into the waterway. They didn't care if it was raw sewage or chemicals or anything else. But there's a lot of
Davy
people.
Jones attitude, and full speed ahead and all that, and people wasn't worried about the wreckage and the carnage they were leaving behind. It was the Industrial Revolution. Let's go,
I know, but
pick up the pieces later, and That's
what we
fell
got to do
on us
now.
to be picking up the pieces. So.
But there's a lot of consciousness now. A lot of people are conscious of what's going on.
Yeah, and you see some of the folks in the area has really went to the conservative side all the way. They're donating their land to be locked up into these conservation efforts to keep it, beautiful around here. And there's a lot of you can't say enough about those folks that do that. Otherwise, I mean, every hill will be scalped. I was somewhere the other day, I think going up through Kentucky or somewhere that way. And the mountain ridge up through there, they just cut every tree off of it, right? And there's this deal that looked like it had to be 4 times the size of Noah's Ark up there, It just it dwarfed the mountain at that point.
What kind of tree was it?
No, I mean, it was a mountain. They cut all the trees down and they built this great big old building on top. And I'm thinking that's the most gaudy looking, unforgiving looking thing I ever did see in my life, And they just took nature and just wiped it out up through there along that interstate. And
where is that?
Going up into Kentucky, I believe, out of Tennessee. It's that area up through there. It may even be still in Tennessee, but we've got to stop that. Every time they clear a ridge top too, that affects our local weather. Every time they cut a tree down, it diverts a wind somewhere else or something, And I mean, and just look, I mean, the availability of winter here since they cut the open cut, that was a big deal back then, about is it going to change the weather? Well, it did, and we've suffered for it.
So you think that's why the big snows quit coming?
Oh yeah.
Was that marked when they quit, when they put
That's
the cut
about
through?
when I remember the last 22-inch snowstorms in February. We ain't had them no more. When we were kids around here, if you're from here, I mean, when it snowed and the snow drifts, man, it'd be up to here on you as a kid.
Right.
And they'd lay 2 or 3 weeks, and before it was gone, the next one was on it.
Right, and when those snows melt really slow like that, that puts water in the water table.
Yeah,
It doesn't run off; it goes into the ground.
Yeah,
it really helps.
And plus it just cleans up the environment when it does that.
That's right.
It kills a lot of the little bacterium and things like that.
Mosquitoes and all that stuff.
In it So it's really we've really took a low punch on the weather, and but there's nothing we can do about it that. I'm inclined to believe that some of the sizes of the cities have actually changed the weather pattern. All the buildings in Chicago reaching up a half mile.
I know what kind of heat cities radiate into the environment.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then, but those big columns of heat rising up, are moving around the jet stream and things and doing all these weird patterns. Now, I heard a fellow the other day said we're supposed to start getting some more weather again, so. El Nino or one of them died or something. I don't know, or went back home, headed for South America or something. I'm not sure, but hopefully we will continue to get out of it. We've had a good little bit of rain this month. And I was going to just try to have a different kind of variety thing. Some talking, some picking, and some grinning. Even interview my mother. She's a gospel songwriter and singer, and they've got a pretty good little old group that go around doing.
Well, I hope you get when do you plan to get started on all this?
Well, here I'm just rolling into it. I didn't want to rush, but actually I do. But
how have you been feeling? Do you feel like you have the energy to do it now?
One day it's just I do, one day I don't.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Actually, I think if I'm gonna get anything done, I need to be up and doing it by get it done before 1 or 2 o'clock. Because after that, I'm just pretty well trashed on this.
One day I do.
Up and
that's the way I do my show. Is one day I do, and the next day I do it anyway.
Yeah. Well, just sometimes you have to. I guess.
Yeah.
And still trying to do music with my friends up in Black Mountain. We don't really have an official band name, but we picked together for 4 or 5 years, all of us. And
it's a nice group of musicians out that way, isn't it?
Yeah, and the guys I'm with.
What's that guy's name? He used to have the bar out there. Him and I think he had a brother that played too.
No, Bobby Jarmello.
Yeah.
And Jimmy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, are you part of that gang?
Well,
some of those same people that jam with them, I bet.
I didn't hang with them like that in that kind of manner, but I know them, and we're friendly speaking terms and stuff. And I picked with them a couple of years ago over here at West Asheville at Jimmy's place. His dad was over there picking. We were just having a good time in there, And but yeah, those guys are just excellent, great musicians, and
actually these hills are full of some excellent musicians. Most people, even people who live around here, most of them really don't have an idea the kind of talent there is in the area.
They have not got the support that the creative artists need here, to make that happen like other cities do. I had to leave Asheville myself to take my music that was people liked around here. I couldn't get the radio station to pay no attention to it. I went to Branson, Missouri, sang it live on the TV show, and they played it on the radio the same day.
Right.
So I had to leave town to get my song played on the radio. And when the radio don't support the local artists because of the big BMIs and the ASCAPs and the CSACs and the all them alphabet people that they got to worry about, then creativity gets lost underneath all that. So Asheville actually needs something. That's another creative deal that Asheville's not utilizing. That's another resource Asheville's not utilizing. Don't cost much to get them together, and if they can do a We Are the World somewhere on the other side of the world, we could do one here. And probably be better at it. So anyway, our little band, I call her, everybody's probably got their own band name, but I call us the Black Mountain Basement Band. So
right.
But we've got
but
some
so you have so much competition for the Black Mountain Basement Band. So many basement bands in Black Mountain.
Yeah, but we're the one. Every song we're doing is original, rock and roll. It ain't been heard, and I think that it's actually needed right now in the market. And I'm trying to push us to get us that way. I want to get them recorded and get some airtime for that. Steve Summey's drumming with us. He's got a lot of original songs, and Brett Parker out of Black Mountain, and Steve McCandless, myself, and then other folks that stop by, they've got something going on. I've asked them all about that, wanting to be on TV up here and use it as a venue for that. And I think that
let me see if I can find what have I done. Here it is.
Yeah, that was a rough copy I made off. I've got one original copy. I made 200 of these that my uncle did, and I produced them and gave them away to folks. And I've got one left. Yeah, and I couldn't even tell you where the master got to. I think somebody snuck off with it. Now that music there is not the rock stuff that we're doing in Black Mountain.
Okay. Would you like me to play one of the tunes on this now from here to the end of the show? We got about 10 minutes.
Well, that'd be great. There's one on there that I don't think you got to. It's
which
like
number?
The 9th or the 10th song.
Well, we need to know.
You Are the Music.
Okay, I'll try it and see if I can get it to.
Yeah, it's rated PG or G or golly G. I don't know. It's rated golly G. That's what it is. GG.
Okay.
But I believe that was the 9th song on there, the 10th.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
But yeah, thank you again for playing.
Is this
yesterday.
it?
I turned it on and I was surprised.
Is it the next one?
No, let's do the next one.
All right, see if this is it.
No, that ain't it either.
Okay. All right,
maybe it wasn't.
there's two more on there. Is it this one?
Yeah.
All right, we'll let that one be there. All right. There we go.
That's a music box deal that we put a little special, but it's not 10 minutes long.
I'm gonna turn it down a little bit so we can still talk while it's running and get ready to do my.
It's just a 3-minute deal, but I do appreciate you playing that one. That was a soft one. I think be good there, you know. I've just got a book full of stuff that I never did really get to do much with, and when I do my performances, folks really like it. I never pushed it to go get rich or famous. I think I was just born under a bad rock here after that military thing crunched me up. I just tried to stay alive, basically. Yeah, I thought, did you enjoy seeing Savannah Bob that day?
Huh?
Did you enjoy seeing Savannah Bob that day? He
Oh
stopped
yeah.
by.
Oh yeah. What did he have to say after he left?
Oh, well, actually, I got to talking out in the hall, and he booked on about after 5 minutes, and I didn't get to see him again, and I've just talked to him a couple of minutes since then. But he was doing well. I'm sure that he actually made a statement. He actually hated to come up here and give you a 1-2 punch like that, but he didn't know no other way to get in touch with you. And
Yeah, that
seen
was
you on
kind of,
TV.
yeah, that took me back a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when wasn't. But didn't know if you knew about it, and he had actually asked me the day before if I could get in touch with you, and I said, well, I'd seen him down at the station, but I didn't get his number.
Right. Have I never given you a card?
Well, you did last week.
Okay.
I got one last week, so yeah, and I appreciate that. But, so, yeah, hopefully I can give something that the folks might like to view.
Yeah. Well, okay. That song went over rather quickly. Oh.
I thought you were
It
going
was
to
the
look.
last. It was apparently the last song on the disc.
Actually, the one that I was looking for is called "You Are the Music."
Is that not it though?
I thought that was, but it possibly might not.
Well, here.
Just smack me on TV.
Can you tell if is this it?
It's not doing nothing.
No, it's not. Okay.
Start from 7. Can you go up from 7? And I'll tell you. That's the first one.
All right.
It's a long song, though, that first one.
Here's 7.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Strike 7. All right. There you go. Now we know.
It's called "You Are the Music."
Oh, okay.
You are the music. You are the very heart of me. You took away the pain. I was actually in the prime of creative genius, writing a bunch of songs and playing the bass at the heights of my goodness. Unfortunately, most of that went away when I was plumbing the roof. Now I'm so happy. My heart sings.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, yeah. You are the music. You are the very heart. Yeah, all that horn work's my uncle doing that on his key systems. He's got one of those great big old hand organs still. He plays with the vibrato and stuff. He's great. Mr. John R. Drake, ladies and actually, we're down there at the place. He's got 38 acres out just north of Tallahassee. We're there for about 2 months. We probably went over the songs about 50 to 60 times each, especially those first 2 or 3. Well, you know, just trying out different sounds with them. I mean, we still had the basic track down. Yeah, just having fun. He raised horses down there. He had some, well, he called them Egyptians, but they're Arabians. A couple of fishing holes that he dug out on the property and just fished. He had it stocked up so you could catch fish just all day long and just have a good time.
Say catfish.
And there's speckled cats in there. He's got blue channel cats in there. He's got some.
Someone killed it.
Need to call a pet
They
detective.
threw cigarette butts in the fish tank for all my mollies. And then I was cleaning it out and pumped it.
Molly, is that the black one? Yeah, they were pretty fishy. Yeah, I remember some of them.
That's what
I think I will. I kind of kept sitting around. I said, well, ain't nobody in this room. I said, you're running
How long
around,
does this
y'all.
song last?
Probably just not less than 20 or 30 seconds or so.
Because I'm gonna have to run my roll before I go off here.
Yeah, my kid, she had to go out to Denver, see her mom.
Oh yeah.
She's working hard. She had a vacation coming, so she went ahead and took it.
Yeah.
You are the music. You are the very heart
Oh, that's
of
weird.
me.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pleasure Saucer. Always Cry Theater and Private Fire.
Set free. Without your love in time, I'll surely die. No lie, hey, I guess it's time that I'm telling you goodbye. You weren't my first love, it's true. I never loved another soul like you. But now's the time to look me in the eye. And don't you lie, hey, I guess it's time that I